Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to our podcast.
Lez-Come-Together.
I'm Jana.
And I'm Jo.
Hi, Big Joe.
Hi, Banana Jana.
Oh, you remember.
Emily is thrilled that she
see.
hit the podcast. Let me tell you. I played it back to her and she was like, Banana Jana.
Yeah, Yanni Banani. I get called all sorts of names. So actually, Yana Banana is a good one.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't mind it.
So we today are holding our mics in front of our faces. So if you feel that, some of the flow isn't there, it might be because we've been told by Simon quite categorically, we're too quiet.
So we are trying to be super loud. And we want to make sure that you can listen to us even when you're in traffic.
That was his point. He said, I can listen to you if I'm somewhere quiet, but not in traffic.
Yeah. So we're going to be trying.
We're going to be trying.
Yeah, we're going to be trying. We're going to be trying to be a little bit louder so you can listen to us on the train, in the car, in your bathroom, while you're having a poop, whatever you want to do. You can hear us.
Exactly. So today, first of all, how
I'm
are
so sorry.
you,
You look so stiff holding that mic.
Well, it's because I've also got a broom up my bottom, but don't tell anybody.
Well, I did tell you, I feel like if we're holding the mics, it's going to be different because I feel like, personally, I can't relax.
Oh, I can. I feel I should have had a mic in front of my face my whole life. I should have always had people listening, and I never have, so this is fine.
You have now.
Thank you.
There you go. That's something actually I wanted to ask you because we'll come back to how we are and how the week was, but I forgot this, and then you reminded me the other day that you actually once applied for something on TV.
Yeah.
Can we talk? Are we allowed to talk about this?
Yes.
And you missed out to someone that I actually really adore.
Yes.
You want to tell us about it, Jo?
So when I was at university, I think it was at university, or I might have just finished university. It was the very first Big Brother, was on television, and I thought it was the most incredible social experiment and also role model for the gay community because there was a Irish nun called Anna. Is that right?
I have no idea.
Okay. But there was an Irish nun who went on it and she was openly gay woman and she rocked. A, gorgeous. B, every bit of the social experiment she smashed. When they had physical activities, she would be better than the men, basketball, all sorts. She absolutely rocked. So it made me feel very proud. And then they had open invites to apply for the next series. And then I applied, and it actually wasn't the next series because I was at uni, time wasn't quite, but it was the series after. I applied. You had to do a video. Mm-hmm. So I did a video where I think I was in the bathroom with a towel on, and I was saying the reason you've got to get me on the show is because, and then it looks like my towel's dropping. But I cut the video and then I'm fully dressed with a top hat on or something stupid. I was like, because I'm so funny and unpredictable or something like that. Anyway, it was pretty rough. But I got an interview and I was interviewed in a group interview. And in the interview with me was Alison Hammond.
I love Alison.
She at the time was a parking meter maid. Wow, so I think she was even came in a uniform. We were all sitting around and were asked a question each. And her question was, what will you do if you get hungry? And she said, I'll pick up the phone and order takeaway. And it got a huge laugh because she hadn't watched any of the first series. So she didn't realise that was not possible.
Gotcha, yeah.
And so, and I don't know whether that was ever possible. They could have had two people from the same interview. But I didn't get further. And she got on the show and actually has stolen my life now.
She has stolen your life. Yeah. I mean, you could have been the Big Brother sensation, and instead you just a big queer sister slumming it here with me.
And I will never regret that. I got lucky.
Exactly. Yeah. This is how you got to see. Got to be positive. And, we love Alison. She's great, but she has stolen your life. But
she can have it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because this is so much better. And I hope you're listening, Alison. I hope you're listening to our pod.
And you probably don't remember me, Alison, because I was asked, if you were in politics, what would you change? Well, I mean, that's not an answer you're going to get a laugh, is it? So I said, pay the teachers more money and the health service, I think. And I can't imagine why I didn't get picked. Can you?
Totally can. But fair. I think, yeah, that wasn't an easy one to
No.
make it funny. No, but here on our pod, you are funny every time. So,
Oh, thanks, Jana.
yes, unless you do that jokes. No,
That joke's not funny.
no,
Pay
not so funny.
teachers more money.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but we haven't. This is the first time we've seen each other since we last podded on M, which isn't ideal because we are actually friends. We are meant to see each other outside of podding.
Well, I'm beginning to think maybe we're not so much friends because every time I try to see you, you've got people around, you're doing something, you're going out with your work.
I mean,
And I'm like, look, I don't even want much from you, Joe. I just want to do the pod. And you don't even have time for that, man.
oh, man, when did you turn northern, man?
I was spending too much time with my work colleague.
Yeah.
Work colleague.
It has been tricky the last week, but I was away with work, and but you've also been manically busy because you're trying to move one of the
My father-in-law, yeah.
your father-in-law, right, up so he lives nearer to you, so you can
so
be more
we're buying and selling, and we're like, property people.
barons.
Barons.
Wow.
That's the one.
But you've managed to sell one house and buy another since we last saw each
well, all in one weekend. Don't ask me how that happened, but
Wow.
we're just having our fingers crossed, hoping that it all goes through and he'll move closer to us and my wife will have an easy life.
Although that does mean, and we've talked about this before, that we are the generation where there's quite a lot of support needed for our parents because they're living longer, because the wonderful health service is able to just keep spending a fortune on tablets. That means they can rattle along for a long time, which I wouldn't want any other way. But I mean,
that's very nicely put. Yeah,
my sister's father-in-law passed away a week ago, but they gave him a pacemaker 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
I mean, the NHS are basically doing everything to keep people alive, which I don't know, that's always the right thing if somebody isn't going to make it anyway, or isn't a quality of life. I don't know, and this is very political, and I'm now obviously very boring, but it's kind of crazy, isn't it?
it is. I know. We talk about it a lot. Yeah, I mean, but surely they look at the person and do they, checks and do all that balances, and they think maybe if we fit a pacemaker to this person, they'll make it through and
live a long time.
I'm sure they wouldn't fit one if they think that the person.
I honestly don't think they're allowed to make that call. I think they have to go, is this the right thing to potentially extend life? I mean, this is a bit of a sad accountancy thing, but we have to do return on investment, where you actually say, what's the average number of years and does the investment make sense? And I'm sorry, I don't think the NHS would be making some of them calls.
Fair enough.
Anyway, that wasn't the letter we were meant to be looking at.
No, we were going to talk about all things Q.
All things Q. So, again, I did the random letter thing on the internet, and it said Q.
I think I came back with, oh my goodness, that's just going to be a lot of queer talk, I guess.
Exactly what you said. You were like, okay, so half an hour on queer. That'll be interesting. And then you sent me an email with loads of Qs.
Yeah. Well, not loads. I mean, actually, you think there isn't that many words, but, there's quizzes, questions, cues, quirks, queasy, being queasy. There's loads. So,
quips.
But we're going to make sure this time that we don't do too many and bore you to death.
Or jump around too much.
Yeah, we're going to try to be good. So shall we hit it off with queer?
Yeah.
What do you have to say about queer or being queer?
Well, it is, I think we talked about this before. It was a word that you often use. I don't often describe myself as queer. I would use the gay word more than queer.
I love it. I've just put in a presentation together where the railway asked me we do Women in Wessex event, and they asked me to talk about my career on the railway. And I couldn't think of the name of the presentation or what to put it down as. So I think I put it down, railway career as a queer woman.
It does have a ring. Railway career as a queer. I like it. No, and it is a word that I think we have absolutely reclaimed. So I did a bit of internet researching, not a lot, but in the 1800s, the word queer in the dictionary would describe somebody as unusual, abnormal, a little bit strange.
Sounds totally like you, Joe, if you don't mind me saying.
Rude. Then it was used in the trial of Oscar Wilde in the early 1900s. And that's, I believe, when they first associated it with homosexuality, because obviously what they were describing was him sleeping with men, and they called him queer. And at that point, I think it was absolutely a slur. But I think it's amazing that the gay community have reclaimed it and said, we're here, we're queer. And I think there was another slogan that went with it.
We're here, we're queer, and
You better deal with it.
deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was much better than that one.
Yeah, I can't remember. Maybe we should have looked that up.
Yeah. Psst. So, me again. So, Jana's not here, but lovely Molly listens to the recordings before we do any editing. Poor Molly. And she has heard the chant and immediately has told us that the chant should have been, we're here, we're queer, there's nothing to fear. Obviously, that sounds totally logical. What now happens in the recording is the danger of the internet. So there's a warning for you all. Don't just copy or believe the first couple of things you see on a Google search. Anyway, back to the recording. As you were. So, we did look it up, and it said the chant from 2023 Pride was, we're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your children, which we don't feel very comfortable with, do we, Jan?
No, so I wish you never started this.
But I've turned it around in my head, and what I think it's trying to say is, we're here, we're queer, and don't think this happens to other people, because you'll be surprised there'll be people in your life that this is how they feel. So embrace this. But we're not actually coming for anybody's children. Everybody's children can just be whoever they are and be really happy. Oops.
Let's swiftly move on, please.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more I can say about the word queer other than it is an okay word. Oh, no, I wanted to mention...
Yeah, go on.
That I saw that article when I was Googling it, that someone said that the queer word, so they called it the Q word, should be used similarly to the N word.
Oh dear, you're going there, are you? Right, okay.
So obviously that means that people in the community, and that's my experience, are allowed to say queer, but if you're not in the community, you can't say it, sort of thing, which is what they do with the N word.
Mm-hmm.
But I disagree. I think the queer word, everybody's happy that you use it, as long as it's not derogatory. But then that's the same about any word. You can make any word be derogatory.
Okay, Joe. So, yeah, I've always thought that. And actually, absolutely, I think I might have to disagree, because I've read something today that I was really surprised by. But 100%, myself and you probably be more than happy if someone calls us queer.
Mm-hmm.
No issue with that.
Nope.
Right? I'll happily, probably not everyone. I won't just like call someone out like, oh god, you're such a queer, or are you're a queer person, and or meet such and such, they're queer. That you've got to use it at the right time, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about where you use it. Anyway, something I read today was on some Facebook page, and there was someone saying that they recently got married and they're really struggling to use a word wife. I'm like, a lesbian woman who married another lesbian woman. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah. So, because I can't say wife enough, as you know.
Yeah, stop saying it, for God's sake.
Everywhere I go, this is my wife. I'm talking about my wife this, my wife that. I absolutely love it. Since I got married, I can't stop using that word. But of course, everyone is so different.
Mm.
And there are people out there that are struggling to use the word wife. And I think some of it's probably to do with the internal homophobia. They're scared because, like we've said before, every time you start talking about your not just partner, but your wife, you are coming out to someone.
Yes.
And I do get that.
And it's very personal. If
absolutely
you haven't come out to a lot of people and found it the most natural thing, then it is very personal and you don't want to say it to everybody.
So I'm reading it, it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, totally. I understand that, because not everyone is as confident as yourself and me to just come out to a stranger. Like, I love it. I couldn't care less. Like, you need to know anyway. Why not? Like, this is me, so why wouldn't I shout out about it? But oh my God, of course there's people that are going to struggle with that. But there was someone, they described word wife as being like possessive. And that I couldn't quite get on board with. But is that to do with the hetero life? Because that's how it's potentially used to be seen. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, it's interesting you say that because one of the terms historically for a wife was chattel, which does mean property.
Wow.
So historically,
Okay.
in the heterosexual world, you're
Okay.
right that there used to be the idea that a man, when he married a woman, she became his property, which obviously is many, many years ago and the most ridiculous thing ever. But I don't think the term wife is associated with that. My sister has had a lot of experience recently with people from
Right.
emergency services. She said a lot of women have arrived, at least one of them arrived, and her mother-in-law, said, so are you married? What does your husband do? And the woman said, my wife. Like,
Yeah.
didn't miss a beat, which I think is absolutely the right thing to do, because it's easy enough to make an assumption and say husband. It's not, you shouldn't. You should say, what does your partner do? We know, but I've done it myself. What's great about this is now, whenever she gets anybody come and see her, she says, are you married to a man or a woman? She almost starts the sentence with that because she's sort
Right.
of realised
Yeah.
it's important not to make the assumption.
Yeah. And we shouldn't. We shouldn't. We shouldn't.
So I think it's
assume.
great to say wife because you can correct someone really quickly and it's not really
Yeah.
embarrassing. Because I don't feel now saying wife is coming out. I'm just like, is what it is. I'm not asking you to ask me any more questions.
Yeah.
I've just got a wife.
Yeah. But that does mean you come out as.
Yeah, they
as a
do
gay
then
person,
know.
I suppose.
Well, also questions and questioning.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would say that obviously a really big part of being able to say the word queer and gay and getting to a point where you are happy in that skin, you go through a lot of period of questioning.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when you're younger, teenager, and you start to discover yourself, you question yourself a lot. Or it could be much further into your adult life, and you actually start questioning yourself because of something that's happened.
So when did you start questioning your sexuality, Jana?
Probably soon as I was born, to be honest. I came through the tunnel and I thought, oh, I like this. No.
I'm coming back here one day. Now that's sick because that would be your mother. But no, I know what you meant.
Oh my God, Joe. Okay, that's taken it a little bit too far.
Okay.
But you know what I mean.
Right.
Perhaps not. School. I think we spoke about that before briefly when I had like weird crushes on my teachers. So primary school. Actually, no, I lie. Maybe this I never mentioned before, but I did have a girlfriend when I was at nursery. Her name was Eva,
Wow.
and literally we were girlfriends. We were.
At nursery, I mean, talking
yeah,
5.
4,
Wow, you
5,
really...
5, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 because I started primary school at 6. So we were 5. Yeah, about 5, and we were proper girlfriends. Weird. Huh?
Wow. But no, I honestly, now you say that, I don't think actually that's that strange. I mean, because if we're brought up with role models that say when you're older you can love whoever you want, if you feel at 5 that you love this girl, you will be like that. Like you now have girls that say I've got a boyfriend and boyfriends that say I've got a girlfriend. You'd say, oh, well, that's my girlfriend. So I think that...
I mean, that is 40 years ago, Joe. So I'm not sure I was, like questioning anything. I just liked the girl. She liked me back. We'd spent so much time together. I think we like held hands all the time, and we kind of like just hugged all the time. And
So what's it, that could just be best friend though, couldn't it?
oh no, that was. Let's not go there. We were only 5.
But yeah,
and it was perhaps illegal, but it was. We did kiss and stuff. Like, we did, yes. I mean, I might as well say it.
No tongues, people. Don't worry.
But then I got older and I had a couple of boyfriends, but that's just like school boyfriends and whatever. And then
That's questioning, isn't it? You've got to...
yeah, and I enjoy that. It was quite nice. It was like like the feeling of like kind of being in love or whatever, or fancying someone, and they kind of showing you the thing back.
I don't know what they're showing you. I'm a little bit worried where this conversation is going. Okay, so the questioning for you then, you didn't... Because I would say that until... I reckon it was about 9 was the first time that I thought, oh, that's strange. I'm getting excited about women and talking about being with women rather than, you know, and I never had that feeling talking about men, and that never ever came at any point.
I think for me, when I started stalking my physics teacher, I think that kind of hit home. Like, why do I like her so much, and why do I want to be everywhere she is? And that meant like everywhere at school. And when she left school, I'd be at the same bus stop. Like,
You really were a stalker.
I think so. And I think that's when I started questioning myself. Like, how much do I like this woman? Like, and why? And how am I going to deal with this?
This is interesting, isn't it? Because I was a bit of a stalker. There was a
Oh, yeah?
because there was a girl that lived down my road who I hardly ever even spoke to. She wasn't my year. She was actually like 3 or 4 years younger than me. And I used to literally get home and I'd go upstairs and watch the curtain to see when she got home. And then I would often check and see if she was going in or out of her house. So there was a bit of stalking going on then.
God. Yeah, so like I think most of people, anyone that says that haven't stalked anyone, I mean, probably some
No,
people.
it could just be weird.
Maybe this is why. So I'm currently waiting for my vetting for Surrey Police for one of the volunteer jobs I'm doing, and it's taking a long time. And I think they're listening to this pod, and
It
they've
ain't
got
coming.
thief tick, stalker tick. I ain't getting the vetting done, am I?
Yeah, you're not coming. But I'd be really interested for people listening, if you're a gay woman and you are of any age, did you ever stalk anybody, or is it just me and Jana? Because maybe it's part of being gay that you have to stalk.
Oh my God, let's not go there. But yes, we'd love to hear your experiences of stalking while questioning yourself.
Exactly. So I think it's really important, the questioning phase. I think it's I think it's how you get to a point where you get comfortable with who you are. But I think that it happens at very different times. So hopefully for a lot of people, it's kind of young teenager. Could you pull it back together, Jana, and come back?
I'm trying, but I'm so worried because we talked about coming for people's children, and now we're talking about stalking, and yeah.
Is this the last pod you think we'll ever do?
Yeah, probably.
From now on, we'll be doing it from a prison cell or padded cell, probably somewhere near you. But yeah, I think there's also, though, now a lot of women in their 50s, 60s that probably are questioning because they didn't have choices or didn't feel they had choices when they were younger. Unlike, you know, so they're now able to start questioning. And I think that is a really tricky time because you feel like you've lied to somebody for a very long time. You might be married, you might have children. So yeah, I'm not sure how easy it is if your questioning happens so much later in life.
Absolutely. And, you know, questioning is good. Stalking, not so much. So stick to that. Stick to that.
So we'll move on from questioning.
Yeah.
We also had queuing. And we've both actually admitted that we've both got a quirk that comes from queuing. So I'll let you start because you're not British. What do you think about queuing?
It absolutely frustrates me. Hate queuing. I could never believe how amazing British people are at queuing. They just love to queue. And it amazes me because I am complete opposite and a little bit like you. I get competitive when it comes to queuing.
But I'm also a absolute stickler that a queue is a queue. I do not like these people that think that they have a God-given right to ignore this queue and go to the front.
Oh, well, that might be me.
Well, because actually it is a cultural thing. So we lived in Germany, as you know, for a couple of years. My son was only 4 when we went there, and he had to learn not to queue when we got there, because if you queued, you ain't never getting on, because they don't. They just, you know, survival of the fittest, you get at the front, which I struggled with, but I was like, okay, son, you know, get in there. Anyway, we then came back. And then we went to some sort of fairground, and I was so embarrassed. My son was just getting straight on all the rides.
Oh, brilliant.
Because all the other kids were queuing, and he was just going, no, just get on. But he has now come back into the British way because it's, for us, I think it's a fairness thing. We feel like as a queue, everybody has equal rights, get in that queue.
Fair. And I think you guys are pretty chilled, laid back, and you just love that. You're chatting in a queue, having a glass of wine. Sorry, a glass of wine. Sorry.
Where are you queuing?
I am at Wimbledon, actually. That's the one I was thinking about. I do. That's the only queue I don't mind so much. When it's a sunny day, I've queued in the rain. That's not so much fun. But on a sunny day, we bring a picnic, get the blanket out, sit there, having a glass of prosecco, having a picnic. Yeah, that kind of cue I can get on with.
And it's funny because we were talking at a event recently about traffic jams, and there was two really different schools of thoughts. There was mine, which was I hate them. They're stealing time out of my life. It's such a waste of time. I get so frustrated. I'm normally starting to smash my fist against the steering wheel. And then there was someone else that said, I find that it's the time I can practice my yoga breathing, and there's nowhere else I should be because I can't be anywhere, so I can just relax and spend some time in my own head.
Wow. I was going to say, was that Molly? Because that totally sounds like her. But actually, if you've seen her driving, she is not a cure in traffic. Oh my God. She cannot stand anyone in front of her.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Molly that said that. But I agree with her. But it actually, when you think about it, which one of those attitudes gets you to the destination probably in the best mental health?
Yeah, the one when you're doing yoga breathing.
Yeah.
100%. Maybe something I should try. I tend to, when we finish this, my next few rides in the car will be listening to this pod. So I don't know, is that good for my mental health or not?
Well, let's see how it goes. So queuing, but where you say we're competitive queuers, my point being, although I would always queue, before I get in a queue, I up if there's options and I try and figure which is the quickest queue. And if I manage to go to the front before the equivalent place would have in the other line, honestly, that rocks my day. I'm like winning at life.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than having two queues and you pick the wrong one. Oh my God. And you see the other one moving so fast and you just standing there like an absolute potato.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And
nothing worse.
At what point do you cash in and go, no, just change queue? Because there's part of me that goes, no, I picked this queue. It's suddenly going to get quicker and then I'm going to win at life again. But sometimes it's just like, no, the person at the front does not have a clue what we're trying to do to get through here, and it's over.
Oh my goodness.
And one of my other quirks that's very similar to this is about turning round when you go wrong. You're in the car.
Right.
And you make a mistake.
Yep.
And Vicky says, no, we've gone the wrong way. We should turn round. I'm more likely to drive 3 miles to do a round trip to get back than I am to do a U-turn, because to me a U-turn is like, no, I cannot admit defeat. Yeah. No, it's just a better way, Vicky. You don't understand. There's just a better way.
Oh, wow. You would drive me nuts. Actually, I'm the one that will turn around even in a place that I shouldn't, because I am not wasting fuel, time. I just got to turn around and get to where I need to get.
And that's probably the better way.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, driving that, no, you're weird.
Okay, so we've done queuing. So any other quirks that you or Molly have that you want to share?
Oh my goodness, yeah. So do you know what? I asked my colleague about the quirks, like what does he think is quirky about me? And he said apparently when I get angry, I go high pitch and talk a lot faster.
Right.
I was thinking it's one of those that I find really difficult to put my finger on it, because I know I have quirks and I know I have lots, but I can't actually like name them. It's so weird. When you're eating something or drinking and you open it and I have to lick the lid before I have the drink or eat the thing. Like I have to do that. I wouldn't be able to eat that yogurt before I lick the thing.
That's interesting. Do you think this is about not missing out on a single drop?
Maybe. Or maybe just then forgetting that you're holding it and you turn it and it drips.
I know, it could do. It could do.
Oh, it could be so many things.
But that is strange. That need. Yep, you're weird.
Have you spoken about all of your quirks?
Yes, I'm very unquirky.
What about your wife?
Yes, she did tell me today what her quirk was, and I can't remember. That's really bad, and she's not in the house, so I can't ask her.
Yeah, so I have a few other quirks. I can't remember them all, but there's definitely quite an obvious one where I always roll up my sleeves on my T-shirt, whether I'm in the gym or like instead of buying like a vest top. I haven't done it properly this time. I know you're pointing it out, but it's been a busy day.
I haven't had time.
And actually, I'm always rolling up my sleeve. I feel like that's like a quirk. That.
And is that because you're trying to show everybody your bicep?
Yeah, probably. On my shoulders, they're looking pretty
Good.
pretty spot on at the
Right,
moment.
fair enough.
It's
But
a
that's what you
it's
like.
a weird quirk that
Well,
I
that's
have,
okay.
clearly.
That's what you like. That's the main thing.
Well, if you think my quirks are weird,
Yeah.
my wife's quirks, oh my goodness, they're lovely actually. So one of her quirks
Yep.
are earrings, and I think she accessorizes to compensate for being small in height, and you'll often see her wearing these like really big earrings.
So she thinks that makes her taller
I don't,
rather than dragging her head down with the weight.
yeah,
Oh,
apparently.
good one, Molly.
I am not kidding. She's got about 200 pairs of earrings.
Wow, that
It's
is a
mad.
quirk.
And they are like all sorts. Last ones we bought actually were a pair of flip flops. They're beautiful. She's got a pair of fannies. Literally.
Sorry, a pair of what?
Fannies. Like a
Vagina?
vagina earrings. Have you not seen them?
No.
Oh my God. They're
She needs to
actual
wear
mold
those.
of no, they don't. But they are. Yeah,
Vagina earrings,
they're
everybody.
vagina. They're beautiful.
Well, I should hope so, of course.
They really are. Also, rather than wearing a baggy top and roll up her sleeves, she will wear short sleeves. I have no idea what that means, so we'll skip that one. But-
Cut.
Cut. Hair in a ponytail if she's being serious or needs to get something done. That's her quirk.
Oh, I love that. She ties her hair up and she gets stuck in.
So I know when I come home and her hair is in a ponytail, I am in trouble because she's getting the job done, whatever that job is.
Or maybe you're lucky.
List. She loves a list. Is that a quirk? I think so.
Yeah, yeah, we can have that.
Piles. She absolutely adores piles.
She's got piles.
Yep. Let's not go back to that.
You mean she likes to create a pile?
Yeah, she will have like different piles for different things and different jobs. And, you know, at the start of the week, it starts piling up. And by the end of the weekend, the piles are gone and she's sorted out her life, myself. She had the ponytail on and, we all
It
got
got
sorted. And maybe one last one, so I'm not boring everyone with my wife's quirks. As soon as she gets home, she puts bloody PJs on. Doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Relax.
Yep. No,
My wife wears a winceyette, so no, that's not quite so. Winceyette, it's a big night shirt that, literally from floor to the neck is
oh my God,
like a frock. It's horrible.
She doesn't.
Occasionally, yeah, she's got an old one she really loves.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
And very not sexy.
Absolutely, but luckily let's not go there. Anyway,
do we need to mention a few other people that had
well,
sent
no,
us
we have to go back to
messages?
Vicky first.
Vicky. Oh, sorry, we haven't done Vicky. I was so put off by that nightie. I wanted to run away at 100 miles an hour. So sorry.
I also asked my wife about her quirks, and the one she thought of was in the evening. We've got now some really nice big windows at the back of the house. I think a lot of people have done that, the whole windows at the back of the house, bifolds or whatever. And we've got a curtain. But if the kids are playing on their scooters, we have to have the curtain open because otherwise they'll catch it in their scooter wheels and rip it off the wall.
Oh, sorry, they scootering inside a house.
Yeah, they scoot round the island.
Times have changed in this house.
Yeah. This, but they love it, absolutely love it. Vicky all the time is thinking, I need to close the curtain. She has this real weird thing about the curtains being open are weird, even though no one lives behind us, and it's just black out there. But she doesn't feel comfortable. So that was her little quip. I know, what was the word we were?
Quirk.
Okay, right.
Okay,
Other
fair
people's
enough.
quirks.
You have no idea. Quirks. darling.
Quirks.
Well, I've had a few. One was from our wedding celebrant, Jenny.
Oh, yes.
She said she likes to eat unhealthy food out of a green bowl to make it feel like it's healthy.
This is so genius. She can see the colour green, so it's okay that she's actually just having a custard cream
Absolutely.
donut filled with cream. Love it, Jenny. I think it works. I think actually that is healthier.
Yeah, love it. We had one or two from Simon, but he wasn't sure they actually quirks. So maybe we can help him to work that out.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
So he says he can be ridiculously early for work sometimes because he's got a fear of being late. And it would just make his whole day, like it would put him in a bad mood.
See, Simon, you're a nice person because for me, I would rather be late and then I've not wasted my time And being early, I waste my time. Being late, I waste everybody else's. Hooray!
And now I'm not sure I read that right, but he'll forgive me if I got it all wrong. So he's not sure these are quirks, but that's what he shared with me. I think I had one from Sam. See if I can find this.
We do love Sam.
We do. Sam listens to our pod as soon as it's out, and she will listen to it a couple of times. Absolutely love that. She says she's super organized and thinks too much about everything. Is that a quirk?
Yeah. It's kind of the thing that makes her a bit different to everybody else.
Yeah.
But I think overthinking, actually, Sam, is something that we
all do.
Women particularly do. And Simon, you're going to say you do it too. Yeah, but you are an old woman, Simon, so that's right.
But is it a quirk? Because I asked my colleague yesterday, what is the most annoying thing about me? And I don't know why I asked him that, because as soon as I said it, I regretted it.
Yeah.
He looked at me and he said, well, the whole thing. And then he laughed. So I thought maybe I'm okay. Maybe it's not that bad. And then he decided to be serious and actually said the most annoying thing about me is my overthinking.
There you go. It is a female trait, I think. See, do I think it or don't I think it? I'm not sure anymore. Let me think about it.
We've been given these huge female brains.
Yeah.
You've got to use them for thinking.
And it's okay to be empathetic and wonder, what does that person feel like, or what does that person think? But when you start thinking that their feelings and thinkings are more important than your own, then we've got an issue. And sometimes you can like Vicky and I have this conversation all the time. One of my super strengths is I can kind of turn my brain off. I can just sit and not think.
Really?
And she doesn't ever have that. And I think it is amazing to be able to turn it off, because it's not who you are, what you think. It's just there to torment you, to keep thinking.
Wow. I need to learn from you, Jo.
Yeah. Turn your brain off. Done it again.
What's that?
Turned my brain off.
Oh, okay. I was like, where are you gone?
So the other thing we said, right, so ping the pod. We now want, obviously, whenever you guys get in touch with us, we'll put that section at the end. So we've just talked about it now, and we're going to call it Ping the Pod. And you never know, we might even get some sort of little jingle that says, ping, ping, ping the pod.
Oh, I know. I love that.
Right,
I love that as much as your wife's nightie.
Bad.
Well, that sounds wrong, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay.
So ping the pod is when we say what you've been telling us. So Libby got in touch this week. Libby's a very good friend of Vicky's. She's listening. Fantastic, Libby.
Thank you.
She told me that there's a new A-level called Core Maths that now covers all the things to do with credit cards, mortgages, APRs, and all of the things that we said. You remember we talked about money? And we said they don't teach it at school.
Yeah.
It's in an A-level called Core Maths.
Wow. Well, that's
done,
amazing. That's great news.
The education system.
Ah.
The only problem is, if you're taking A-level maths, you're probably quite clever and not going to have a problem with credit cards. I think it needs to be at GCSE or even maybe primary school.
Yeah.
Because anyone can get a credit card when they get to 16.
Ah, there you go. Well, that's needs some work then.
Yeah, but at least it's something.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that Libby said, which I have to share, so excited, she was at our wedding and she said she did not notice that I did not have any music in the background during dinner because they were all too busy talking, laughing and having fun.
Oh, well, that's amazing.
So thank
the
you,
three
Libby.
jobs you had for your wedding, that neither of them you got done, never actually got noticed. So all is good. I am so sad I was never at your wedding.
Yeah, you would have loved it. But anyway, it was 14 years ago. So,
Well, there you go. We didn't know each other.
no, you were only 10.
I wish.
So, who else pinged the pod this week? Did we get any other comments?
I don't know. Nothing from your brother.
Yeah.
He did ping us with the last one, but he was too late. It was after we recorded it. He sent us his favourite movie or something.
Yeah.
But I thought, too late. Yeah, it was Notting Hill. And we never mentioned Notting Hill.
Which is a
And
fabulous movie.
I love Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
I love him. So, yeah, we should have mentioned that.
Do you know what? I think there is a good reason that Colin's not pinged the pod. It's his wife's 60th birthday tonight. We're going to a black tie event.
Today.
Today is her
Right.
birthday party.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Right. Let's
yeah.
wrap this up
Let's
then.
wrap it up.
Do we have
Oh, we did get pinged. We got pinged by Simon about the military thing. And he was saying that in his day, there used to be the saying that if it was the Navy, it was gay men. If it was the Army, it was gay women. And if it was the Air Force, everyone was straight. That was what they used to be the saying on the street when
he's
you were in.
very good, and we're very grateful for all his feedback. And any of you that give us feedback, we really appreciate it.
The other thing he said about the military thing, and we didn't mention it, and it was very informative. Military law is different to the law of the land. So you can be charged with military law and obviously imprisoned while in the military. But what would happen is you'd be discharged, and then obviously that law can't apply when you're a civvy.
Yeah.
And he was saying you could get military law, like it's illegal to have dirty shoes. Like it's so weird, military law.
It is. Did we have any more? I think there was one more. Let's finish on that. And it was, what makes you queasy? Shall we finish on that?
Yeah. Let's do a quick queasy and then maybe a few quips just to make people laugh, hopefully.
Okay.
So queasy, what makes me queasy? Two things, really. Other people being sick. Can't stand the smell, the noise. That really, just thinking about someone being sick makes me feel a bit right now.
But
Yeah. And then also, you know, when people talk about something that's very gory, like, oh, look, I fell over and my whole arm was hanging out and you could see the bone and the muscle.
Oh.
That my friend used to have a term that says, I get weak thumbs. And I completely understand that. I go all a bit shaky and queasy. You know, like, oh, no, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
right.
Does that make you queasy?
Yeah, no. Weirdly, because it kind of is part of my job where I work on the railway and we deal with certain nasty things. So I see a lot of that, and no, it doesn't make me queasy.
Good. That's lucky.
Luckily, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do my job. Sick people being sick does make me queasy. I mean, I think that makes everyone queasy, right?
Yeah, that's human nature.
And do you know, one thing that makes me a little bit queasy is the needles. Like, you know, when you're having blood taken and just the feeling of it going into your vein and kind of sitting there and sucking out your blood.
Yeah, now you're making me queasy again. My thumbs have gone. I've got a bit of a tip, though, for the whole if you've got a needle going in.
Yeah.
I got told it once when I was giving blood. The woman said to me, concentrate on squeezing your toes. Because apparently, if you concentrate on squeezing your toes, we're both squeezing our toes right now, your brain can't process pain in other areas.
Right, but it's not the pain. It's not the pain. It hurts a little bit, but I mean, look at my tattoos. Like,
Yeah, you
that's
like needles.
pain.
Yeah.
Having blood taken is not pain. It's just the idea of the long needle kind of being inside you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, squeezing your toes ain't going to help with that one.
No, it's not the pain. It's the idea of it being in your vein.
So I've suddenly had a Joe theory.
Ooh, we haven't had one for a while. Bing.
You know, you said, and we agreed, that you feel queasy when someone else is sick.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's a biological thing. That is, if you see someone else being sick, there's a chance that you've eaten what they've eaten. And that, obviously, they're being sick because maybe what they've eaten is poisonous or doing them no good. And so the best thing for you to do is also to clean out your stomach. Maybe it is a biological thing that we're meant to be sick if other people are, because it could be helpful.
Very interesting. Something maybe we should look into. But
Well, I mean, all my theories have no basis. We can just go, yeah, that's probably, maybe, who cares?
But was it yourself or was it Molly I was talking to about the chocolate that...
It was Molly. Chocolate
right.
what?
So I think it's Hershey's.
Oh, yeah. The
Is
American
it's
chocolate bar.
Yeah. So apparently they put something inside that chocolate that is also in your sick.
I'm not sure we can put this out live and not get sued, but carry on.
No, apparently like it's a well-known thing. Like, obviously not you're sick, but something that is in your sick when you throw up.
Yeah.
Some kind of chemical goes into that chocolate to make it more appealing to people. Yeah, I know, this is weird. People, what do you know about it? Let us know.
Yeah, because I think Jana's talking absolute rubbish.
Well, okay, let's have a bet on this.
So any quips that you think are funny that we should end with? A quip is a one-liner, apparently. I just checked.
I am not good with one-liners. We've tried this before and I'm rubbish, but you do it.
Well,
go ahead.
I just looked one up that said, I went shopping today looking for commando pants. I couldn't find them. Okay, on that note.
Sorry, that was so not funny.
All right. Well, there's the quip people. If
yeah.
you've got good quips, good one-liners, particularly if they're anything to do with being gay. I mean, commando pants a little bit to do with being gay because obviously you talked about the Navy and the Army and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
On that note,
Yes.
it has been wonderful. Thank you, you wonderful, queer, quirky, questioning people that are listening to us for queuing to listen to us, really. I mean, there is a huge queue out there waiting for us to release this. You know
And
this.
queue it up on your Spotify, the next one.
Yes.
But no, absolutely. And well done. That was a great summary of today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even practice that.
No, you just
just
came out.
natural.
Yeah.
Mm.
So until next time, thank you, Jana.
Thank you, Jo.
Bye.
Bye.